Meet Pam Cakes. She's the founder of La Femme, teaching for 13 years, and has the passion not only for dance but instilling confidence in her students. Miss Pam Cakes impacts far beyond the studio. Pamela, thank you so
Ah,
much for joining me today.
I love that little intro. That was cute.
Thank you, thank you.
I need you to write my intros.
I
My bios.
definitely will. I
That
got
was
you,
cute.
girl.
Well, thanks for having me.
Of course. I want to talk a little bit of your journey, how you started dancing, what got you interested, and if dancing was your first number one.
Okay, so dancing. I mean, I danced a little when I was little, but that was like talent shows and así. So I'm like, I don't know if that counts. But once I turned 8, I got into swimming. So I actually did competitive swimming for like 10 years. It wasn't until a friend brought me into a dance class my senior year of high school. Um, and she took me to a ballroom class and I fell in love. And just like that, I switched. I dropped my swimming career of 10 years. And I decided to pursue dance and decided to go to college for it and just kept going towards the dance direction.
That's amazing. And I know you mentioned it earlier, but you said that you went to dance school in Dallas.
Yeah, so originally I went to school in it's for UNT in Dallas for business. I tried out for the dance team there. I did not make it, and then estaba toda agüitada. I came back and decided to go to EPCC. They had a dance program there, so I was like, let me see what it's about. I kept dancing at the studio that I was at, and I just saw that I had a like really strong passion for it. And I feel like since I was little, like I was the one that would always watch like all the Britney Spears and like the videos, like me sabía todos los bailes from Bring It On. Like I would rewind and slow mo and like every
Do the
dance.
dance.
Yeah. So I'm like, it was always in me. I don't know, like, and I feel like when I guess it like the power was in my hands, like of choosing what I wanted to do. It was like I just knew that it was it. So I decided to go to NMSU and was graduated from it because I was like I needed some kind of diploma. So I decided to go with dance, and since then that's all I've been doing.
I want to go back to you saying you needed some kind of diploma.
Yeah.
Let's unravel that. Talk to me.
So Hispanic parents,
Hispanic
we know how
parents.
they are. It was realistically like to please them. Obviously I decided to do dance because I was like, at least it's gonna be something that I like that I'm doing, right? But because they were paying for it, especially, it was como que I had to get some kind of thing. So I decided to dance. But realistically, like knowing that I didn't necessarily need a diploma, but it was definitely just to like please them, check mark, like my daughter has her bachelor's and the end, it was definitely more for them than for me. Um I would say I am thankful because going to school for dance education taught me a lot about how to teach.
Mm.
Not necessarily, I mean, it taught me a lot about dance too, but I feel like the most important part was to develop my teaching. And I think that's like something I am grateful from college. But realistically, I'm like, I didn't need it. It was kind of just to please my parents. And they came from a place of like super high standards. I was telling you earlier. I was like, my mom's a lawyer, my dad's an engineer, and my sister's a psychologist. So when I said I wanted to pursue dance, it was like,
They're like, what?
yeah.
Yeah.
And then they were like crazy. Like, ¿qué vas a hacer con eso? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I'll figure it out. Like, like I was like, I mean, there's not that many options. It's either like you're the professional dancer or you're the teacher, right? But I was like, I don't know. I just knew I would figure it out. I was like, I
Yes.
don't know, mom. And even up to now, like, a veces como, I don't think it's been up till like maybe a couple years from now where they're out in the street with me and they see people stop. They're like, oh my God, you're Pam. And they understand like the impact from what I made of a dance career grew so much more. It was como que it's kind of worth it to them now, or they see like what was going on in my head or what I had envisioned for myself.
You manifested.
They did understand it in the beginning, but when they see like the impact, or they see when I do these mother-daughter classes that my mom has been able to attend, and she's like, mija, les enseñas todos en 30 minutos. Like, she's like, gente con dos pies izquierdos. And I'm like, I know, like, it's just, it was like, the talent was there. It's just
Yeah.
and I always tell her, I was like, Mom, you clearly saw that I wanted to be a dancer. Like
Mhm.
it was signs everywhere, you know. But pues, her pressure, I'm sure too, from like her mom and like
The
I can see it. Yeah,
generational, yeah.
the like if you don't go to school, like you're fail or like
Mhm.
you're not successful, and like for her it was a huge thing for security.
Mm.
And I understand that. I told her, I
Mhm.
was like, look, I get it. Like, I'm going to have probably a lot harder time than if I just picked a career more of like a safe, But I was like, to me, it just wasn't worth like my happiness. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
I think a lot of people don't choose their happiness or their passion until later in life,
Yeah.
where they realize, I'm not happy in my job right now.
Yeah.
And so the fact that you made your decision, you were like, sure, I want to do
Aferrada.
dancing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and you went for it.
Yeah.
And sometimes people aren't going to get your vision.
Yeah.
You have to show them once it's there.
Yeah.
But as
Once they
long as
saw it, they were like, oh,
mhm.
they couldn't understand like, what are you gonna do? Like, just teach dance, and then you get old, and then your body would, and like,
Is that what they asked you?
Um, not
Más o
necessarily,
menos.
pero yeah, like another, it was kind of como what I was telling you earlier, that dance como has that age limit that after a while it's como que it's not, it's like, I think it was just considered more of like a hobby. And it was like, okay, when are you gonna get like a serious job or a big girl job? And I'm like, this is my big girl job, I'm making it myself. And it was like that adjustment that was hard.
You being an entrepreneur and a founder of La Femme, what's been the hardest risk that you've had to take?
I think the hardest risk was when I closed down my old studio, Motion, and had to keep going like alone. Because I closed down, I owned it with my ex-husband. So we closed down, Pass went to a separate way, and it was kind of like a moment of like a test for me. It was like, okay, is this something you really want to do? Pursue, start over, rebrand yourself, because it was switching from a competitive studio to what I wanted to do, just me, not both of us. So that was definitely a challenge, like going through all that personally and still trying to push through my brand and making it successful was definitely this part that I've gone through. But now, like on the other side, I'm like, hell yeah, it was totally worth it. Like I'm glad I kept going and kept pushing and found my little community, and like um, found girls who resembled the same thing that I wanted, and
Mm-hmm. Talk, talking about your ex-husband, that journey in your life, that
Yeah.
season, while closing that studio down, can we talk a little bit about that?
It definitely, I feel like I'm a person who was like forced to realize things, and like closing the studio and stuff like made it like como que I realized who I had around me wasn't necessarily the best for me, and it became like a lot of toxic people around me, around him, and like weeding all those people out was very difficult, alongside obviously with my ex-husband. It was definitely a challenging moment, but no say, like I can't even, I'm like, I know I grew so much in like different, I think I grew the most in like staying true to what I wanted, and like understanding my voice, and like that my voice mattered, and what my ideas were important, and just believing more in myself, and like not feeling like I needed him to continue my dance career. Like, because he kind of, not that he introduced me to dance, he introduced me to dance in like the hip hop world and the industry world, and that's where I felt like even deeper in dance, because I was like, oh my god, backup dancing and all that to me was like, that's what I love. So when we separated, it was kind of scary, because I was like, oh my god, can I keep pursuing this alone? Like, I've made enough connections, I've networked enough, but like,
I'm sure that was a big internal thing
it was very internal,
through.
like, of like, oh my god, can I do this? Like, and thank god I did. I had like, I had bad people, but I had also had really good people around me that like pushed me, and they're like, girl, you were doing this alone anyway.
Exactly.
You know,
And
like
that's
now you
important.
have the power in your hands to do what you want to do, when you want to do it, you know. And so it was like just a mentality switch. It took a little bit, but once I had it, I was like, you're right.
No one that
Now I can do whatever I want.
exactly, and no one can take that away from you.
Yeah, yeah. Or no
That's
credit, like it's mine.
exactly. Going back to your parents needing that paper when your beautiful baby girls grow up. Is that something that you're going to kind of instill in them, or how are you as a mom?
I don't think so. I definitely don't think so because from my experience, I'm like, I know it's a safety net and I know that it brings, but not anymore. I'm like, I don't feel like it has the same power that I feel like it had years ago where it's like, because you have a bachelor's degree, you're safe, you know? Now it's like, now you need a master's degree. Now you need a doctorate. So it's like, and if it's something they love, cool, go for it, you know? But I definitely want to focus on listening and tuning in with what they like and what I see that they're passionate for because I feel like that's important. You know, like to me, I'm like I can be stressed and crazy, but to me what I do isn't work. Like it's so fun. You know, and that's what I want them to experience and like whatever it may be, if they end up being a doctor or whatever, you know, but it's their choice. And I know I know it's easier said than done, but I feel like I really want to be that kind of mom that like whatever you want, like you know,
Absolutely.
I'll be there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's so important, like, as our generation goes on, that we remind ourselves that our happiness matters.
Yeah.
Our passion is matters.
And it's not necessarily gonna match what like my mom wanted or obviously, right? Like, but it's like that matters, like the happiness, I was like the peace, the everything is so much more important than like the amount of money that you're making, like to me. It's like I'd rather be struggling like right now. It's like I know I could have been well off. Like I even did real estate or I tried to get my license for a little bit. And I was like halfway done. I needed one more test. And I was like, again, no. Not for me. It was like I know it was probably gonna be good money. I know I would have been good at it, like selling people. I'm like, okay, but it wasn't fulfilling me, like in you know. And so I was like, no. And again, I went to that. I kept trying to steer. So yeah. So I'm like, I want my girls to feel that freedom or that freedom of also changing your mind. You know, because I think for a while, like I pursued dance and everything, but for a while, like especially with the divorce, I was like, what if I kind of change? But then I was like, no, like this is what I worked for. Como que voy a hacer algo más, you know? Like so, like the freedom of like
it's okay. To change
like
your mind.
if you want to be a dancer and you want to do this, or you change your mind and you know you switch to a different career, but not having that pressure of like.
I think there's a stigma behind change because when like if that's going on, you're all of a sudden having a midlife crisis, and it's not always that.
No, and it is that's like literally even what I'm going through right now, like these couple months, because for a while was like professional dancer, and if I don't make it on tour, I failed. If I'm not a backup dancer, I failed. Like, and it was like my life changed. I had girls. I like change happened that like yes, I would love to have that, but I'm also a lot more than just a dancer. Like I dipped into like the confidence coach. I dipped into like more public speaking, into my stretch mark removal, into teaching quinces, into mother. Like there's so much more than I'm not just meant to be a professional dancer in the end, you know? And I feel like for a long time, like I felt like if I didn't reach that goal, I was like hashtag failing at like my job, you know? And it was really literally like probably like a couple months ago, I finally like just allow me to change, you know? I'm like, okay, I'm not that professional dancer anymore, but I've become so much more and have done so much more with dance than I ever could possibly imagine,
in
so
many different ways that isn't really seen.
Yeah, like I'm like being able to like grow, okay, women's confidence, cool, but then when I work with high school girls, I'm also helping high school girls mentality and confidence in them, because I'm like, if I had that confidence or someone talked to me about confidence when I was in high school, oh my god, the choices I would have made would have been so different, you know? So I try and target now more high school girls, because I'm like, if you can get their mentality before they run to college and pick the wrong paths and listen to the parents and, you know, like, and all that. And even the mother-daughter workshops, like working with little girls, like 4 or 5 year olds, like, it's just like sharing with so much, not just a dance class of 20 people who want to professionally do it.
Right.
You know, it expanded to so much more.
It's not just a physically thing and an interactive thing, but it's also a mental
100%.
mental thing as well.
It's super transformed. I was like, it was supposed to be just dance class, you know, and it became like a mental thing, a self-love, everything.
I don't know if you guys know this, but I went to a class with Pam.
I'm like, we don't have a video. We need to post it.
I have a little boomerang, so I'll put it up here. It was so much fun, but like, I'm in college still, but when I went, I was kind of feeling low in my confidence. I left your class feeling sexy, feeling empowered, feeling like that bitch.
I love that.
You know, and
now
I was back then, exactly. But and my girlfriends did too.
I love that.
And so that's I feel like any age you are, go to a Pam class, you're gonna feel.
I love
You're gonna
that.
feel so different.
And I love that because I want to ask you because I'm like, it's my turn to interview.
Go
I'm
for it,
just
dude.
kidding.
Take the mic.
No, because a lot of girls tell me like they're so scared to come to class because they're not dancers or the choreography, and it's just like a lot of the time I'm like, it's not even about getting it perfect. Like, like I'm sure the dance, like you didn't have it 100% perfect, but you still get that same feeling. Like even if it's not perfection, you're still gonna feel sexy. You're still gonna feel more confident than you walked in, you know. And I think,
and I was wearing sweatpants. Like sweatpants made me feel sexy.
Hell
You know? But yeah, you're absolutely right. It's crazy. And I was gonna say something else. Fuck, what was I gonna say? I'm all sweatpants. Oh yeah, thank you. Okay, you do alterations.
Yeah.
So you're like, you do like this, dude. You roll everywhere. Like you roll on the floor. You do the splits. You shake ass. I'm like, oh my god.
So yeah, the modifications are always there, and I think that's what people see because you guys like they see the end product obviously when I film, and I'm trying to be better on that, on showing the process, because that's when it's like I've been doing this for so long that I'm so confident in how I teach that I'm like, I promise I can teach like beginner and an advanced in the same class, and you won't feel you won't feel like left behind. You're gonna feel challenged, of course, but you're not gonna feel like no agarre nada, you know. And it's I think that's what people are scared of. It's like they see the end product and they're like, I can't do that, but I'm like, but I get you there. I'm not just gonna throw it you know, like I explain. And
I think with dance, it can be a little frustrating.
Oh, yeah.
When, like, you see the majority of the girls and guys, because guys go to your class, too, which I love. But, like, if you don't get it, you're going to... Like, I did feel frustrated.
Yeah.
And then I was like, no, Pam's motivating me. I have to. So I did. But when you perform at the very end, because I like how you pair girls up at the end to perform... Everyone's hyping each other up.
Yeah.
Everyone's clapping, yelling, screaming. Like, it's just a good vibe.
Yeah, it's because everyone, that's what I feel like. Everyone, like, in the process, obviously, you're getting mad and frustrated. But it's what I had just made a post about this the other day. I was like, it's that mentality and that pressure that you put on yourself. Because class is class. Like, class isn't an audition process. It's not, I'm giving you a piece in an hour. You're not supposed to get it perfect. Like, awesome if you do, right? But realistically, you're most likely not. So having that, like, release of pressure of that, of just like, go have fun, like laugh at your mistakes, laugh at yourself, and just keep going, and you're gonna grow like 5,000 times faster because you're not stressing,
so worried about that.
And then because if you're stressing about the steps and all that, like, you lose the point of class of like feeling in touch with like the sexiness. And it's like you never allow yourself to reach that point because you're worried about the right foot, left foot, I turned the wrong way. And you know, so it's like letting the girls como que, I'm like, just breathe. Like, we're not auditioning. It's a supportive space. And then all the girls are batallando. That's what I tell them. I'm like, who in here is looking at anyone else? No one. Everyone's trying to get the choreography. A mirror in front of you. Yeah, everyone's struggling. Everyone's trying to figure it out for themselves. No one has time to look at anyone else, you know? And I think that's why at the end it's really fun and everyone gets excited, is because I'm like, oh, okay, let's see how like people did, how they interpret it, how the growth between classes. Like, I love seeing when the same girls keep coming and you see that growth, and within the students they see it, they're like, oh my gosh, she got so much better. And I'm like, yeah, she's been coming, you know, like you just gotta stay consistent. But it's cool that they even see it, you know, and they support themselves within it. Like there's zero competitiveness. It's all about like seeing each other's versions of sexy and
Yeah.
like
I feel like, and because you have a background of competitive dancing
mhm.
and coaching también, you see a difference in the
Yeah.
community.
Yeah. I'm super super grateful of this community I have because it's nothing but support and love, genuinely. Like genuine support and love. It's no selfishness, there's no egos, there's no malas caras, there's no like just little things that would happen like if someone asked like quote unquote like a dumb question or something that was more simple that que no se vean los ojos like like and just those kind of things like just left after I left that stage of my life and now that I'm in this one it's just so much better like the love.
Te sientes mejor
Yeah,
también.
it's a lot more enjoyable for me to teach and even me like I don't feel the pressure of my choreography.
With the time you've had to invest with choosing the song, doing the choreography, can you kind of walk me through the process of what it takes
Yeah.
outside of the studio?
So choosing the song is like the hardest part for me. It's just I hate choosing it too early. Usually I like to choreograph the day of because when I choose it too early, like my vibe just switches by the time it's time to teach. Like I'm not feeling what I was feeling on a Monday or a Tuesday. So like I don't like to pick it too early unless I absolutely like love the song and know I want to do it.
That's a good point.
Yeah, because it's like a veces like I'm like all pumped up on Monday and then I'm like sad girl Thursday. And I'm like,
dude, that is so real.
and I try and teach tune to what I'm feeling so it's more genuine. The movement feels better, like if I'm sad, I'm not gonna teach like this ratchet piece because como que
sad girl hours.
Yeah.
Ay, ay.
We're just antidepressive. Yeah, honestly, it's like kind of like the mood I'm in is what you girls get.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's the way my pieces come out better. I share my work better, like when I'm feeling what the song is, like if it's, I don't know, like
that's kind of therapeutic
yeah,
too.
yeah, for me, for everyone, it's like, and I use it, and then because I know, like, obviously we all like to do the fun dances and all that, but sometimes those pieces are kind of needed of like the self-reflection and like that kind of stuff. But anyway, picking the song is the hardest part. I usually choreograph the day of. Got into a point where I can choreograph like roughly in an hour. Used to take me a lot longer, but I had really good training from when I used to work at an office job because I had to work 8 to 5 and then I would rush to the studio 5 to whatever. Right? So I had to have my choreography done. So I would I would choreograph like I was on the laptop and I'd be like choreographing and then I'd go to the restroom and go try it. I'm like, does this work? Okay, yeah. And then I'd go back to the front because I'm like, I gotta be at the front office. Right?
Yeah.
And I'd be like I see, like, so I kind of train myself to have to choreograph in like not the best settings, not necessarily in front of a mirror, like, when whatever opportunity I could. So that kind of helped me, and like I've been able to just knock them out quick now, which is nice. But it definitely took me like a while to be able to do it this fast, But yeah, and then once I have it, was I'm not a big count person in class. I like to, you were telling me, I was like 1, 2, pa pa pa. I'm like, yeah, you get some counts, but I think the easiest way for me to learn was learning how to learn amongst the music and not 2 counts. Because then if you forget the count, like you don't know where you are, as opposed to matching with the music. So once I learned the choreo, I really try and get like that down so I can teach it to you guys, because I feel like that's why the girls can learn so quick, is because the musicality is explained right, so that's like a big part that I do try and take always time to make sure I'm teaching you girls the musicality that I need you to learn.
So I'm assuming you go through the music and be like, okay, pause here because I have to say it this way to the girls so they
or
can
how
understand.
I want to explain it. Okay, like, and then sometimes like 1, 2 pa pa pa, but if I don't say it like that and I say 1, 2, 3 and 4, you're gonna forget what's the 3 and 4 instead of like, oh yeah, the pa pa pa.
You're
it was
right.
like so like finding little tricks like that has helped me, and just making sure that I have that before I go into class is like my savior, because that's what's going to save me a lot of time, and it also helps the new girls match my veterans, that like they don't feel lost because they can kind of like follow the music, as opposed to like counts, because the counts get overwhelming and then you're like, I don't know where I am, like what 7 is it, which one, like
that's a lot of time.
Yeah.
And not even that, but like the marketing aspect behind your business.
And then your flyer, the website, and making sure. Right now I've been trying to go live and I've been having issues.
Live on Instagram?
No, it's because they block you or like have an online class. Like why teach have it run online.
Oh.
I think we got it last week. Hopefully we'll try it again. But yeah, it's nice because it was really cool because I saw when I posted it, I had a lot of girls from like everywhere. And I was like, and like I knew other girls follow me, you know, but to the point where they want to take class, like girls from Denver, girls from I see everywhere, girls from LA, where I'm like, you're in the heart of dance. Like these classes exist all over around you. Like, why do you want to take mine, you know? So it was really special to see that. I'm like, oh my God, I can reach even more girls outside from my city, you know? So I'm like, I'm in the process of figuring out how to
I
do
love
an online
that.
class. Yeah, but I was like, it's cool. It's expanding to reach more girls, you know? And I was like, that's cool that even through social media, they can see like the energy and like and the vibe of the classes, you know? Like, but yeah, but marketing, doing all the online stuff, ¿qué más? The photo shoots, the video shoots, the workshops. Oh my God, those are a lot.
Not only
A lot of
that,
planning.
being a fiance,
Fiance.
and a mom
And a mom.
on top of everything.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to balance. It's a lot of time management for sure. I'm like trying to get as much done like while the girls nap or like just because I mean you can't do it all, you know. I'm trying.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a lot to balance and him Beto just finished school, so that was like a whole
Congratulations,
other, and I-
Beto.
Woo, he did it.
Woo!
But yeah, that one was tough too. Like him going to school because he would go to school and then he'd work weekends, and it was just like, and then I'm like, but I have my workshops, and like it was a lot of balancing. But I feel like we got a good little routine. We kind of got it.
I love that.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about you and Beto and just the support as a partnership
Yeah.
that really helps you in your business.
Why llorar? I'm like, oh,
Talk to
he's
me.
the best. Honestly, like oh my God, emotional. um, he's just a really good partner, and he's super supportive. We get the question a lot, like, how does he not feel jealous and like of what I do or like insecure, you know? But he was my best friend before we were partners, so like I feel like that was a lot to do with it, you know? He cares for me and respects what I do and my passion, and he sees it, and he's just so supportive. I can't even ask more from him, you know, like my number one fan and just always there. Like, hey, outside the
getting
girls, I'm
chills.
like, oh yeah.
I'm like-
He stayed up 1 a.m. doing cake pops. Like literally we were like, and he had just gotten out of work. Like he worked an 8 to 8, got home, was like, all right, dude. This was the other day because I was having a bad day. He stayed home to roll the cake pops. He's like, go to the gym, come back, and we'll finish the icing, you know, and stuff like that. It's like it's not his responsibility to do the cake pops, and he's like, he could tell I needed space. He's like, go to gym, I'll get started, you know, and just little things like that I'm like,
He reads you.
yeah, I don't have to tell him or like, you know, he's like, all right, like let me jump in here. She's stressed or whatever, you know.
I feel like having someone read your energy
Yeah,
is so important.
so important.
Because I'm sure once you came back from the gym, you came back a better you.
Oh yeah,
A better mommy,
I was
a better
down.
partner.
I was like, yeah, let's get started.
Let's go.
Like,
You just sometimes need that hour, 30 minutes to
Yeah.
kind of
decompress a little bit. Yeah, and he understood that. And he was like, yeah, when I got back, I was like way in a better mood. Like, it helps us all. You
yeah.
know? Yeah.
And that's so normal. It's so raw and real that
Yeah.
everybody has days like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And he just, yeah, it's the way he reads me and just the way I would tell you, he's like always just like, what do you need? What do you need? What do you need help with? Like, we'll never say no, you know? And stuff that like, yeah, like for Noche Amor, he loves helping, you know, but for like my workshops too, like last year we had a Valentine's workshop and it was choreography like on a bed. Yeah, I start like con la cama, you know, because I was like, I can't take it. Like, so just stuff like that, you know, that and the best part is that he truly enjoys it. I think I don't ever feel like I'm nagging or like I'm like, ayúdame. Like, I never have to like tell him really, you know, it's always backwards. Like, he's like, tell me, because I was always used to doing it alone, you know, so like breaking that was super hard. Like, me costó más than like I feel like it should have, you know, but But now I'm like, hey, I have help.
Oh, yes.
I'm not
I'm
alone.
sure you feel like a big.
Oh
like,
yeah, like or even like when things going wrong, like I'm like, oh my god, they canceled this or whatever. He's like, we'll figure it out, we'll figure it out. Like super always positive, you know. I'm like, yeah, I'm like, I'm always. I feel like I'm a pretty positive person, but like those moments, you know, that they just get you, and he's like always there, like, no, what do you need? Like we'll figure it out. He starts calling whatever he needs to do, you know, like always
Aw.
super helpful. Yeah,
I'm Team
he's the
Beto.
best. Woo! Team Beto, I know. Who would have thought he would have been dancing too? Right? Noche amor.
Yeah, let's talk about Noche Amor.
Yeah.
I feel like that's been such a huge impact
Yes.
on social media. But
It's everywhere
our
right
couples
now. Yeah.
that went to your class, tell me about how you kind of convinced them to do a Noche de Amor.
So I saw the idea from a choreographer in LA, and I loved it. I was like, this is something so dope to bring to my city. I hadn't had the no, ¿cómo se dice? I had never danced for my man before, so to me it was also like a new process. And I was like, oh, that's exciting and fun. And, you know, I showed it to Beto, and he was like, hell yeah. I was like, what guy's not gonna want to, you know? But when I first shared it, or I had a lot of girls send it to me, they're like, please teach this kind of class here, blah blah blah. And so I was like, okay, let's do one. And at first I had a lot of girls messaging me like, okay, but are the guys dancing? Because my guy does not want to dance. He's like, he's not gonna go if they have to do anything and blah blah blah. And I was like, no, they're literally just sitting there, like,
tell them they're just
nada,
nada se van a sentar.
like literally. And for it's crazy for the what was it, the Christmas one? They had a little intro, right, where they walk and then they sit. And even that, I was like, okay, we're pushing limits. If you guys do not want to do this, you can wait at the chair, you know. But if you can, walk it. Because they all did whatever. But it's been really cool because apart from helping like couple, obviously, like you're testing your how safe you feel with each other. Because in the beginning, like all the couples are awkward. I was awkward. Like you're giggly and you're like, oh my god, you know. But once you get past that little giggly, like you see the like commitment that it starts happening. And like there's moments where like I'm like, okay, like we turn around and I'm like, okay, you could like grab her butt or you could slap it or whatever, you know. And then they get into it and then you just hear like it's so funny, but it's
you
so
all turn back like
yeah, las
was
pompis
that?
todas rojas, like but you can see how it grows within 1 hour. You know, it's like you
Wow.
feel the shyness and then you see them like going for it, and then when they mess up they laugh, and just like there's a sense of like connection and of intimacy, but like in a yes, it's still sexy, but it's also very vulnerable, you know, because it's scary. Like what I had just posted, I was like, one, being in lingerie or whatever you decide you're going sexy in, right? Wearing it in front of other people and then dancing for him, like trying to keep that eye contact, trying to stay in like a seductive way, you know. But it's also nice to see like the girls when they break it and then they're silly because they're like, oh, we messed up, or like, you know, it's nice because it's real. It's very real and it's cool, and it's like I feel like they've gotten braver and braver. I was telling one of my girls last time, I was like, "Cada vez que te veo te ves más encuerada." I was like, "Good progress," because the first time she came like toda tapada, and the next time she came like a little shorter, and then this time she was in like a little baby doll thing, and I was like, "Oh, look at you," you know?
Yeah.
And it's cool to see them grow, and then like the couples, they even start planning their outfits. They're like, "Okay, what are we gonna wear?" And like it becomes like a whole like activity or like a thing for them, you know? You know, I was telling you earlier too, with the most, well, not all of them, but most of the girls who do it are dancers or like to dance, and it makes the husbands like realize like, okay, like one of the husbands was like told me like he was like, I understand why she goes to classes now. I understand why she's so passionate. I understand why she enjoys this so much. She was like seeing her transform, like even when they just get there, to when they.
And that's the magic you put into the classes.
Yeah.
Because they can go anywhere.
Yeah.
But they go with you.
Yeah.
It's that magic, that touch that you have specifically to transform a space, an energy, and just networking. Because girls that go there network too.
Yeah.
You know, a
and
lot
then
of
the guys
them
become best friends.
Exactly.
We went out one time after the last one, and the guys were like they were jamesa y andaban bailando, doing the push-ups, quién sabe qué. But they, yeah.
Guy
I don't know what happened, yeah. But they even become close with each other, and I think that's cool, like building a community of like of people who, I know some people see the video and they're like, oh my god, or like it's so sexy or like too much, and I'm like, like it's real. Everyone has sex, like everyone to me can benefit this, whether you're a dancer or not, you know, like
Who doesn't want to be sexy?
exactly. I feel like when you're scared of it is those people who I don't feel like I've ever seen, or not anyone like talk bad about it, but who are like, oh, I could not. And I feel like those are the people maybe that even want to more because they're so scared, you know?
And sometimes fear, once that's unleashed,
Yeah.
you're free pretty much.
Yeah.
But like it also takes a part of you to show up.
Uh-huh.
So
see, I can't force it. Like it's like, yeah, I'm like, that's what I tell her. I'm like, just show up. I promise the hardest part is showing up. Yeah, it's gonna get easier.
It's my job to take over at that point.
Where I'll guide you to get you where you need to be.
You're like,
right?
I've been doing this for 10 years. I promise I got you.
Yeah, but it's just so like people, and I talk with Beto about this all the time, and I'm like, I feel like that's something that I've never really had is like fear. Like I'm very much like aventada. So I don't understand sometimes people. I'm like, why are you letting fear stop you? Like, who cares? Like, what if you mess up, or what if it goes wrong? Like, laugh at yourself and you're gonna figure it out, you know. But I'm like, I like there's so many girls that I see like in class or noche amor, like, oh, I really want to do it, but I'm so shy. And I'm like, you're stopping yourself from doing something you want to try. Like, you know,
talking about kind of like, I don't know, just like a personal little experience. I was in high school, and I'm a little chubby, but I'm exploring like crop tops now. And my mom, ¿te vas a salir así? I'm like, yes, I am. And she's like, you shouldn't be wearing this, you shouldn't that. And I'm like, why are you jealous? Yeah. And she's like, and that stopped her. She didn't say anything else, you know? Yeah. But literally, like, I don't know what I was on that day.
You were extra brave.
Yeah, to tell her, like, I am me. I'm going to try this crop top for $5 at Target, and I'm going to fucking rock it. I don't care what anybody tells me.
Good for you.
Like, sometimes people just need that.
See, and my mom was super like that too. Like, even up to now, it's so crazy. I'm like, I've just always been like a sexier girl. Like, since I was younger, I remember like, it's just who I am, you know. And I've always tried to tone it down because of my parents and like, you know. But I'm like, no, that's just who I am. Like, I like to wear little things, and I like, you know,
like I literally, I mean, I'm not wearing nail polish, but I couldn't wear nail polish. That was like a thing.
Really?
My dad didn't want me to wear any nail polish. I couldn't wear any makeup. I couldn't wear crop tops, holes in my jeans.
Like,
and now I'm like, peace, you know?
Yeah.
I would get my nails done, but I'm working at a hospital.
So I can't.
But I usually would.
But that sucks, but I feel like it does happen a lot. Like, I feel like people,
especially in our Hispanic culture,
put your insecurities or can't understand how you're so brave or confident or like, you know. And I feel like that's changed to like where it was before. It was like you have to be skinny to wear certain things, and now like anyone can wear anything. It's like the confidence that you have that makes it look good. Like, to me,
exactly,
it's not the body, it's the confidence.
Exactly. And everybody, it's amazing how like one piece of clothing, one piece of lingerie looks different on everybody.
Yeah.
But so good in their own way because they wear it.
You can rock it.
They own it.
With this last one, I just did the Valentine's one. It was like all different shapes and sizes, and it's like they all look hot in their own way. Like, everyone got their own thing to offer. Like, you know, like,
exactly.
Yeah.
Going into a little bit more of the financial side of your business, I know being an entrepreneur is sometimes iffy regarding finances.
Yeah.
Can you share with me kind of how you mitigate your finances on months that aren't so booked?
Busy? So that's, I think, the hardest part about what I do, honestly, is, and it kind of forced me to kind of get my shit together a little bit more, because I was like, okay, if I want to, especially after being a mom, I'm like, okay, if I want to pursue this for real, like, I also need to be making like money. Like, I can't just be doing this, you know? So I was kind of respecting myself, and like I up my prices in a lot of senses of like, okay, I've been teaching for a hot minute. Like, I know I'm good at what I do. Let me raise my prices of as far as like music videos and all of that as well. But I think on those months where like I struggle, I always try and put in extra workshops or privates, or there's just so many different types of like dance that I teach that I'm like, okay, maybe my drop-ins didn't do that good, but I have this quince, or I have like a bunch of little networks of dance income. It's all dance, but they're coming from different people. I'm not relying on just my girls to bring me in the money, you know, which is still dance, but at least it gives me some options of pursuing, like, or like I have for the quinces, like when I do their workshops, or where I came out with like a planner book for first time quince moms that are planning their quinces. So stuff like that, that it's like I'm trying to use like my knowledge and put it into something that like I can continue revenue, that necessarily isn't me like teaching a class, you know, kind of just I'm like trying to get revenue pretty much from everywhere to back me, because I refuse to like not do this for my living. I'm like, I rather just work my ass off. And I know, like what I was telling you, I was like, some months are hard and some months I have to double up the work to make up for it. But to me, it's like, it's worth it, you know? And it's like, yes, it might be stressed, but I'm like, once I get into the door and start teaching, to me, that's so enjoyable. Like, it's never work. So I don't know. It's been an easy kind of to just like, I'm telling you, I'm like a very figure it out person. I'm like, I don't know. De algo va a salir el dinero, you know? Like, I'm like, I'll figure out a way to bring it in, like, whether it's this way or this way. Like,
and I feel like money always comes.
Yeah.
Just like how it always goes, it always comes back.
And I used to be a lot more stressed on money, I feel. And I was in a sense of, I feel like, proving that I made it my dance career work. You know? But once I got past that mentality and I was just like, you're going to do your best every week, and just it kind of flowed better. Like
I feel like as an entrepreneur, it's so important to understand that multiple streams of income is okay. Trying to have income from just solely one thing,
that's hard.
It's not really realistic.
Yeah.
It can happen, but it's where you try to think outside of the box. Where you can create that, you know, foundation, that tree, that those different types of pillars to bring that income in.
For sure. Yeah, you always have to be like adapting. You always have to be in like what's new if you're trying to be an entrepreneur. I feel like you always have to be on top of it, you know. You have to be creative in finding new ways to bring in income.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's not just reinvesting into your business, but it's also, what do my kids need?
Yeah, exactly.
Valentine's Day is coming up. What am I getting Beto?
Literally.
You know? Well, like,
yeah, it's like those little things that I'm like, you got to figure out when to put it in drive a little bit more, like, oh, you know, like, but it's also been so nice. Like, I like all the struggles, but entrepreneur to me, I'm like, oh, it's just me. Like, I refuse to be under someone and
yeah,
I have to go clock in and like only get an hour lunch. And I'm like, what if, you know, like just those things to me aren't something I want to do. So
I want to share with the audience that I saw this reel on Instagram, how it said people become entrepreneurs because they don't want to be told what to do.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like
100%.
You know, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's because I've done both, you know, and I can say I struggle more to make money. Like, I don't have that set every week. This is what you're gonna get, you know. Some weeks I'm like, hell yeah, I made more, and some weeks I'm like, oh no, you know. But to me, that freedom outweighs that difference in money, and I know that I'm gonna get to where I need to eventually. It's just kind of like being patient and trusting in yourself, and like trusting the process and believing in yourself, you know, like that, like, okay, like I can get myself to where I need to get myself to stay doing what I love without sacrificing it, you know? Yeah.
So social media is an amazing platform to get, you know, our business out there. But has there been a moment where social media was bad for your mental health, where you had to take a step back completely and just kind of, you know, figure stuff out?
I think there's been a couple moments in my life that I've had to do that. But I think like the biggest problem with that isn't necessarily social media, but I feel like the mentality that we have, and like the power that we let social media have. So it was more training my brain for that, especially when I tell you, just like being in the dance world, it's so competitive and you can't help sometimes but to compare. And it can be in a positive way, comparing, but sometimes you still can't help but compare and be like, oh my God, like, why does she have more students? Or why is she getting more views? Or like, what am I doing wrong? And it's kind of like a self-sabotage, self-torture kind of thing when you start looking at social media like that. And I felt like there was a time in my life where I was transitioning, like what kind of teacher I wanted to be, if I wanted to be a industry teacher, if I was trying to do this more for fun, like if I wanted to coach teams, like trying to figure out what I wanted to do, put me in a place of more comparison that I saw like, oh my God, like why can't I get booked, or like those kind of things like got to me for a while, and I disconnected and I kind of changed my mentality and like more like there's room for everyone. Everyone has their own path. Everyone has their own way. Everyone offers their own thing when they teach. It's kind of like staying true to what you are and staying true to that, you know? And I think that was a big obstacle that I faced. It was like my own things, you know, my own thoughts that were like getting my way. And then there's also been a lot of, or not a lot, but there's also been moments of like negative comments being said or bullying situations like that, and those used to also get to me. But I think it's more the mentality. I feel like social media can be very positive or it can be very negative, and I feel like someone always has something to say and they hide behind it because you can't see them, you know. Like, and I've learned to like, if I don't value them, if I don't want to be them, if I don't see that they have anything to offer, like their comment is never going to affect me. What'll affect me is obviously someone I love saying something, or like, you know. But it's like learning that mentality of like, dude, you never know who this person is, or this person is just like a hater that just has nothing better to do, like you know. And it's kind of like learning, becoming stronger mentally, I think, because you can't kind of like turn those people away. I trusted myself in my choices and where my life was going, that I was like, these people aren't meant to stick around. And I'm so grateful because this was before my girls, right? So I'm like, all these people that I had in my life, I'm like, hell no, I wouldn't want them around my children. Like, you know. And it's like they all weaved out before I had my girls, and kind of, I don't know, it was just like all
Worked
the right.
perfectly.
So I like kind of learned to trust that a little bit more and not be such a planner, and like trying to, I don't know, you know, just like let people in and out as they come. Like a little red flag, I'm like, bye. Like, yeah, no, I feel like I always try to give people the benefit of the doubt before, and not everyone deserves the benefit of the doubt. Is what I've learned. We are just meant to be around you for a year or two, and they teach you something and you move on, you know.
Wait, do that again. I'm all serious. Dígame.
I don't know.
You got it. That's what I have to say about that.
Face of my girl.
That's so cute. I love that. Well, yeah, your girls are literally gonna learn to. So I want to ask you, what are your top 3 artists that get you in that dancing, seductive energy?
Okay.
Like your top 3 like artists that get you, that make you feel like a bad bitch.
Okay. So this is actually, I talked to my friend about it. She's like, dude, you rarely choreograph to guy dancing or to guy singers. And I'm like, I know, I relate more to girls. I don't know, like I feel more the power. But for artists, I would say Carol G has been like my go-to. I don't know.
I saw you went to her concert.
It was the first time I went to a concert alone.
Oh, really?
I went alone to it. It was with my friend Exton. I went to the wedding dress with me. She had tickets alone, and I was like, bitch, I want to go. She's like, well, get a ticket. I was like, okay, down. And it was amazing. Like, best concert I've been to by far.
Oh.
And just her, I don't know, I guess her story and like the way she used it for this album, like really connected with me. And like every song, I was like, oh my God. So for sure her. And I like her because in different senses, like she has songs that are like love, and then she has songs like fuck you, you know, like,
yeah,
she has different senses, and so I like that. She's for sure one. Beyonce is always one. I can't, course. Every song of hers, I'm
Queen
like,
Bee.
Queen Bee. ¿Y quién más? Honestly, I don't even know. I would say maybe like anything Latin is initially what like makes me want to dance. Sometimes I have to force myself to like choreograph other genres. I'm like, yeah, wait, yeah. Like reggaeton. You know, right. Like bachata. Like, yeah. But I try and do it for my training as well as the girls, like to switch it up. I was like, they need different stuff. But definitely my home is like the Spanish music, like any type, reggaeton, bachata, salsa, like it's just what.
Some.
Yeah, it's
I'm
the way
all.
I choreograph the easiest too, always too.
Okay.
It's like what comes in natural.
What do you think would be the like most challenging, I guess, genre for you to choreograph that you haven't tried before?
Maybe like heavy rock or something.
Oh shit! I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a fan of heavy rock, but
Yeah.
I feel like you can just dance to like everything.
Yeah.
Basically, and I've danced to so much, like from all my training I've had. So I'm like,
Would you do country?
yeah,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know how good come out. But
Yeah.
I
I'd
think
be
it depends on
interested.
yeah,
I'd be
like,
interested kind of to see, like, I just see, imagine like girls in like little
jean
shorts with a little, you know,
yeah, that'd be cute.
and a little
boots
hat.
are made for walking
Yes,
down.
and then put their hat on the guy sitting down.
that'd be
That'd be
cute. That's a cute theme.
cute.
Oh yeah, that is cute.
We'll go to that one, babe.
I know you guys need to go to the next one.
We will. Okay, and then it's your turn to plug your fave spots in El Paso.
I suck at these. Okay.
Share them with me.
It's a girl thing. I don't know if you've been there. It's a.
I do follow them on Instagram.
Yeah, it's super cute. They have like they do waxes, they do braiding, they do permanent jewelry. My friend Apple has her lingerie line there.
Oh.
Yeah, so go there. They have a bunch of cute stuff. It's set up super cute too. It's like all pink and like you could take really cute pictures there.
I love that.
Yeah, it's a cute. They always have events too. Like we did one actually this past month. They had like a lingerie line, but she had like a little fashion walk. So,
I saw that.
We walked. That was kind of scary. I was like, I've never.
You did it. You walked.
And it was crazy because she was looking for more models, and I was like, let me share it. I was like, maybe some of my girls would be down. You know, I was like, I don't know. And it was like all my girls. I was so proud. I was like, hell yeah! I was like, for them to feel confident to walk in lingerie, like
yeah,
that was scary, you know. But
Fuck yeah.
So they have co-events there.
That's awesome.
¿Qué más? Style Vine always is there for the outfits, for our last minute outfits. They save us for like performances and stuff. ¿Y quién más?
Where's your favorite spot to eat in El Paso? Your go-to.
Oh my god, I can't even think. I love you know who's good? It's the mariscos.
Mariscos
Culiacan.
Culiacan. There you go.
It's super spell it out. Their aguachiles are fire.
Really?
So
I'm gonna have to check it out. No, I
do you like
haven't.
seafood?
I do.
Yeah, go there. I'm like, they're so good. They're spicy.
What
but
do you
like
get?
good. The
Aguachiles?
aguachiles verdes. They have one that are like aguachiles negros or aguachiles cruda or something like that. My friend gets those. She's like sweating and crying from how hot they are.
But she always
she's
gets
like,
them.
I'm like, girl. I was
Toda
like,
enchilada.
yeah, she tortures herself. I'm like, why do you do that to yourself?
That's so funny.
Yeah.
I love being enchilada too, though.
Yeah, me too.
Not
But
gonna
no,
lie.
that's like too much.
Yeah. Okay.
The green ones are good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Alrighty, well, thank you again so much
Yeah,
for being
thanks
on
for
the
having me,
show.
Mama.
I feel like a lot of women are gonna relate to your story, your journey. Check out your business, and just I'm gonna go to a class this week. Yeah, I'm gonna bring my girlfriends. I can't this Thursday,
Next
but I
week.
will next week. Yeah.
Every Thursday.
Yes, every Thursday. That's all.
Thursday.
That's your.
That's like my schedule. Every Thursday, 8 to 9:30.
Mhm.
And then sometimes like throughout the month, I either have workshops or like those video series where we practice and then do the video and all that. So there's always something going on.
So how can we connect with you?
Instagram's probably the easiest. I'm on there the most. Pamcakes 20 to 10 or on TikTok a veces. I'm trying to be on TikTok, but it's just too many platforms. I'm like, TikTok or my website also is like to sign up and get more info. It's www.lafemheelsandfitness.com.
Awesome. Okay. We'll definitely put that in the description below. Please make sure to check her page out, her journey. And
Thanks for having me.
of
Mama.
course,
This is
of
fun.
course. Alrighty. So with that being said, stay tuned next Saturday for our new show. Adios.
Yay. Bye.